Audio, yep, audio's good. Let's make sure this microscope's camera is working. It is. Excellent. And let's see. Yeah. Damn it. Really got to get a better camera mount so I can put things where I want to put things. Okay, let's pop out the chat. Chat be popped. And wait for the victims to arrive. Or maybe I shouldn't wait for anybody. Nah, stuff it. Not going to wait for anybody. Let's get underway. The night is not young. Well, YouTube's really taken its time letting people know. Seriously, YouTube? Anyway, so this one just came in late this afternoon. It was actually this is a local job. The person messaged me. They said they've got a MacBook, just stopped working, and they've got important files on it, and they need it. And there's actually a little bit of rusty corrosion there, so that's a bit of a concern. It means something might have come through the trackpad keyboard. Oh well, we're gonna find out. Yeah, it's got some decent dust factor in there. Plenty of local bugs. Wow, this is a 3437. Been a while. I swear, chat's broken. Pop it out. No, it's not broken. What the hell is going on? Oh well. Just have to keep going. Anyway, first thing we do, disconnect the battery, tear off the tab because I was too aggressive. We then number the drive so that we don't forget. 1521. Ah, seriously. YouTube, what the hell are you doing? We've been going for 5 minutes here. We've only got three viewers. Something's very amiss. Hey, Jim. Not sure what the hell's going on. Maybe it's just YouTube being YouTube. Anyway, wrong screwdriver. Let's see what we get when we put some power into this. Like I said, 3437. Don't get many of those anymore. Usually we get the 165s. Let's bring up the old MagSafe. We have to set the power supply back to MagSafe levels. There we go. Hey there, Jim. I'm sorry to hear you're not well. That's always a problem. Wish there was actually more we could do for you, but I know it's just one of those situations. Alright, chipmunk in. Okay, we've got... What have we got? It's flashing... half a watt. Okay, well this is repeatedly pulsing. Hey, Dadumrez. Yeah, it's repeatedly pulsing. It's not doing one pulse then dropping dead, or two pulses dropping dead. It's just continuously cycling. Cycling. And so that would tend to indicate we have a decent short circuit somewhere. So we're going to take this battery out because it's easier to get the logic board out when you've got the battery out. Yeah, there really does not seem to have been much in the way of notifications of this stream because by now usually we're in quite a bit further along with the people visiting, But we're only showing up 5 viewers at the moment. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe YouTube's decided, hey, you've already had a stream today, you can't do 2. Hey Lexi. Just disconnect these. I might just give it a little bit more of a zoom. There we go. Yep. My booby. Oh yeah, that's right. Funnily enough, that wasn't actually even me that was doing it, in the sense of the fact that it was Open Broadcaster going along, and it was testing the performance of the stream, as in how quickly it could upload and things like that. So it wasn't actually me deciding to run a stream, it was just, yeah. So you're right, that makes it 3 today. So yeah, YouTube's probably like going, get stuffed, you're not having any more. Stop scamming the people. Only my T8. So hopefully we'll be able to get this in and out tonight. I'm kind of worried, given that it's a 3437 and it's got a bit of junk around it. Yeah, I've got my fears that it might be something like a SMC. I don't know why I'd be fearing that. I mean, we do an SMC every other day. Also, once we take this board out, after I've had a look at it, we'll try reconnect it again and see if it exhibits the same behavior. Or if it has stopped, then we know we've probably got a keyboard issue or something like that. A trackpad. Oh crap, it's a refurb. This is pretty much the bottom of the barrel type board, and I can see corrosion around the clock circuit already. This little white sticker here pretty much implies that it's a refurb, and it's a 1.3 gigahertz, 4 gigabyte RAM. So I don't think you can really get much lower than that on the 1466s. I mean, they still run perfectly fine, but it's a far cry from a 2.2 8 gigabyte one. Let's just dive in on the microscope. There's corrosion on the clock circuit, so that's going to probably be the fault. Yeah, Apple field replacement unit. Yeah, that's a very destroyed clock chip. This is actually quite a classic situation. Like 4 or 5 years ago, when we were starting to get the 1466s show up, many of them had corrosion around the clock crystal. And then lately I haven't really been, for a couple of years, haven't really seen them. So it's interesting to see one pop back up. And being a 3437, I suppose that makes sense. But problematic that we have a refurb board in here. I'm just going over the board, checking to see if I can see anything else before I dive in and fix up that clock circuit area. Because as we know from experience, all too often you can get a little bit carried away fixing up the most obvious fault and you miss something less obvious. Ah, shite. Thanks for that. There we go. Sorry about that. That's kind of weird. That actually should have switched. Oh, I know why. Haha. Ah, crap. Just give me a moment. I only had one micro USB cable connection going at the time, so I've just got to switch this back. Okay, I'm on the wrong side. Just give me a moment here. Right. So I disconnected my my compass tool, and the compass tool is what determines when I need to switch the microscope or not. So that's why that didn't work. Okay, this should now work. Let's swing in and see how we go. There we go, that's much better. Nice when things actually do what they're supposed to do. Alright, as I was saying, yeah, very messed up clock circuit. And we're just looking for other areas. SMC's got a bit of dust around it, but it looks pretty good to me. The hell, that cap there has got corrosion over it, so that probably needs to be replaced, as a just being a cautious person. Backlight drive is a little bit dusty, but again, no obvious corrosion or anything like that, so we can let that go. The inability to get started is explainable by the damage around that clock circuit. So long as it's not a dead PCH again. Yeah, this is a joke. We've got 17 people watching, and that's it. Yeah, by now we've got 80 to 90, maybe 100, so I don't know what's going on. Hey there, Copaz. Clearly I've offended the YouTube gods by doing a test stream today. That's very frustrating. We've got a itty bitty smidge of corrosion there, but it's nothing to be worried about. We don't just mindlessly wipe out JTAGs here. Alright, I think we're good. Let's go and get that clock circuit sorted out. Hey Jurgen. Yeah, that's going to take a bit of work to clean this up. It has attacked quite a few different things. So it's not just a simple chip replace. Good evening, Mr. Miser. Quite a bit of corrosion around this chip. Yeah, it's actually quite stubborn. There it goes. Mr. Miser's handles sounds like it'd be a real pain in the backside. Not the sort of handle I would want. I am deliberately touching the various parts around here. I just want to see if any of them dislodge. That one there really probably should just come off, that top resistor there. And a lot of those pads look like they need to be cleaned up too. So this really isn't, so far at least, a thinking repair. This is definitely one of the more janitor repairs. So I'm going to drop some 80/20 on here. I need the 80/20 because I suspect there's a fair bit of water-based junk still on here. And the flux alone, along with the alcohol, is just not going to displace it. And I mean, I can keep hitting it with the solder and the flux and the alcohol, but it's more efficient for me to just use this little bit of 80/20 and get it to let go. It's done a better job there now. Definitely still got to get rid of that top resistor there. So my guess is this person, when they bought the laptop, they were really wanting to get a MacBook. Well, that's gone. Off with the fairies. I'm going to take this next one too. In fact, I'm going to take both of these. Yeah, and by take them I mean let the solder hot air station just blow them away. That's quite right, yes. In fact, these are the better repairs for ensuring I always get to buy insulin. The complicated ones are not good value for, or good return on investment relative to time. I'm not sure what it was that attacked this, but yeah, we're just going to scratch it back until we don't have any more of that stuff sitting underneath the conformal coat. See how it just crumbles off? You gotta keep going until it stops crumbling off. Okay, around about there looks good. Hello? Yep, there we go, more of it. I mean, look, it's not the end of the world if you don't scrape it all off. But I certainly feel better if I get it off. You can always cover that up. Oh wow, what is that? It's like, it's like flux mixed with something else. Let's get some flux back down, solder up those pads, get ready to put down new parts. It's going to be difficult to get solder onto this one in a nice, easy way. Those ones are okay. Any of these fat ground pads are going to be reluctant to comply with what I want. Hey there, creature. That'll do, that's plenty. Creature, don't you have a job that you're supposed to be doing at this time of the day? Yeah, something important, something that's progressive to the state of humanity or something. You refactoring code, okay. No, you're just being destructive to the universe in that case. Code refactoring, yeah. Alright, now we do have the fun task ahead of actually trying to find one of these 1466 boards that has one of these clock chips still intact and present, because they are one of the most common chips for me to extract. You got a 4090 turning up? Jeez. Well, Mr. Moneybags Copaz. Okay, I'm not going to take this one because there's corrosion here, so there's a chance that that might have got corroded at some point, so we're not taking that risk. Now I'm just going through my stash, and oh, this one's got one. Well, that looks a little chunky and chipped, but it might be okay. Oh, so I've got flying ant wings on there. It's like Jurassic Park in here. Hey, Warren. Did I mention that my logic boards, my circuit boards, hopefully will arrive tomorrow for the microscope light and the new USB-C meter? Hopefully. No, my luck, they won't turn up until Monday though. Now, unfortunately, that hasn't really sort of sat down properly. Part of the problem is that because the mask coat is missing, it means that the solder sort of bleeds out in other directions to where you want, and it subsequently pulls the chip. Fortunately, everything looks sufficiently lined up, so I'm best not mess with it anymore. We do have to put these resistors back. Hey, Patrick. Creature, it's my thing. I will poke it as long as I want to poke it. I've got another Jurassic Park here. And what do we want? Those top three, was it? Yeah. The 2 plus 1. Those 2 plus the one above. While it's in my workshop, it's my thing. I should have said that in a more sinister voice. Yeah, I'm quite excited to see how the microscope light turns out. Creature will be happy too, because I actually rotated the LEDs this time. Not that I actually cared, but yeah, it just shows the sort of nice person that I am. For me, it didn't bother me that they were all lined up parallel to each other. Dodumra as well, we'll see tomorrow if the boards turn up, and if my LCD displays turn up, then maybe there will be soon availability. Of course, there is the small version, yeah, the one that I've been mostly using, the little compact size one. I think I'm probably going to end up with the large one with the 16:2 display, and then I'm going to have the compact one with no display. Hey Q's, I saw your message pop up on Facebook just then. Nah, Lewis never gets to beta test anything. Beta males don't get to get beta testing. There was that cap over here somewhere, wasn't there? That cap there's got to go. It's interesting, if you are new to doing the repairs on these boards, you might look at that cap and think that will be easy to get off. It in fact is not. Or at least it probably won't be. It's very deceptive. Your watch is going to come straight off, but basically when you get these tiny parts in amongst a huge flood area, they usually take a lot more heat than what you're anticipating to get to just come off. There we go, starting to get there we go. Now I'm lucky, at least my hot air station does have sufficient power to dislodge it. If you try that with something like one of those blower in the handle type hot air stations, you pretty much will not be able to get that off without baking the board. The board will get cooked before it manages to heat up those pads. But a lot of people think that because it's a small part, it should be easy to get it, to remove it. It shouldn't take that long to heat up. It's certainly not the case. And I am working on Flexboard View still as well. There was a couple of other little things that I fixed up today. I'm basically just going through and trying to make it so that it is as close as, as good as I can make it before I release it. Plenty of times I will just sort of quick release things. I'll just do a patch and send it out. But because I'm introducing a large new feature with all the component support values and all that, I want the whole package to be quite good on the first upload. And there's a few things that I've had to adjust in the protocols or the database storage format, things like that. And it makes me thankful that I am taking the time, just that little bit of extra time, to not rush it. Yeah, we're still only up to 40 viewers. This is a joke. YouTube's definitely punishing me for what I did. But you can't have 3 streams in a day. Okay, here we are. There's something that we need to be careful of. You see that green there? That's on the HS105 switch. and it's quite common for that to happen. Okay, look, I mean, it rubs straight off, but you don't want to trust that part now, because you don't know how far into the part that green corrosion has gone, and it is fairly common. Dudumres, thank you for the... I'm gonna guess, what was that? It was 15 Australian. Dudumres just contributed 15 Australian to the Don't Let Paul Die Fund. That's not true. I shouldn't say things like that. People will misconstrue that. There's nothing wrong with me, at least medically. Gotta be careful these days. People will run off with things like, oh my god, what are you suffering from? It's like, no. I was just meaning superficially in terms of, well, I get to keep food in the cabinet, coffee in the jar, cats happy. Thank you, Dudumres. I didn't actually get to see a message there. Morning, Greg. And of course, for those who weren't here for the earlier stream, we have switched the cameras all up to 60 frames per second. Previously we were running a mix of 50 and 60. The microscope was 60, but the overhead and the face were 50, and it was sort of giving OBS a little bit of grief. So we've done the change to everything being 60. That was a bit of a fun task, because it's not actually a normal switching, a normal feature you can select on these consumer cameras. But thankfully the designers and the firmware developers were lazy enough that they just use the same hardware and they just program in what they want. A B-Dog 3X. Alright, so I better get another one of those HS105s. Probably... yep, that one's gone as expected. That one's gone as expected. Like I said, it's also another one of those parts that rarely gets to stay around on these boards. That one's actually looking pretty damn good. Yeah, we'll take that one. Things like the SMC, this switch, the clock chip, stuff like that, they're all on this back edge and they all get hit, so they are routinely needed. Thank you, B-Dog. Oh, that lifted up easy. Makes me think that one was actually put down in an attempt to repair it at some point. There's a lot of other junk running around on this board, but I'm hoping that the ultrasonic will pick up the rest of it. It sounded like rain for an instance then, but it wasn't. It was just the hot air station spooling down. Alright, let's see if this does something better than simply blinking every 10 seconds. How hard is it to get new old stock parts from China then? It's not too bad, but it really depends on what you're trying to get. Some things are in plentiful supply, some things are extremely difficult. Disc on for the first test, too risky, yeah. I'm not that crazy. There we go. It's running. Now 3437, oh actually wait, 3437 should actually shut down, and it's not doing that. So we actually do have a problem. That's how long it's been since I've done a 3437. That's taken way too long. Should only be about 3, maybe 4 seconds for it to cycle through the first two sequences. Okay, maybe I missed it. Maybe when I turned away. Because that just gave us a indication that it was booting. We'll stick it back into the chassis and we will see if we have a sensor fault. Yeah, it's a Wi-Fi module board. Though I know a lot of the recent... it could also be because the board's so damn hot too. There's a lot of recent laptops, the budget laptops, and they come with like half-size SSDs like that. I really am not a fan of them. And I know I've sort of looked at them in the past and sort of went, are you an SSD or are you a Wi-Fi module? They're those ones that they just have that one monolith chip. And that does make me uneasy. Hey Keith. Probably unnecessarily so, but you know, the number of times that you get USB sticks, the monolith USB sticks where everything's integrated into just this slightly fixed circuit board, and it's like, well, can't fix that, or at least not very easily. Occasionally you will get the time where they will have a single ceramic capacitor on the back of them. There's often like 2 pads on there. Every now and then you'll get lucky and it just happens to be that cap that's shorted, and you can pop the cap off or replace it with some generic thing like a 100 nanofarad or 470 nanofarad 16 volt or something like that, and it all comes good. You get the data off and then you ditch the stick. But in most cases there's no capacitor on there and the damage is internal. The 44mm SSD, that would be about right. Yep. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan because I get tricked each time, so I'm sure they have their convenience and use, but the number of times I've sat there and wondered where this solid state drive was, it's a little bit too embarrassing. Okay, option key. Hassini Zakaria, I have a question. Do you have tutorials? No, I do not. And I don't really have any... there's the book that Rossman put out, Lewis Rossman. Yeah, this is taking way too long to do the boot sequence. Is it possible to repair a webcam cable on a 1506 without moving? I actually do not know. A 1506? What's a 1506? By the way, if this doesn't work, that's fine. I've got a squillion of these logic boards to put in place. Look at that. It's not even energized the screen yet. This is something seriously wrong still that we're missing. Wow. Well, we got green blinks. Flushed from center, did it? Okay, I'm just going to give it a a NVRAM reset. Okay. Possible repair webcam cable on the 1506. Yeah. You could probably try repair the connector, but good luck with that. Right. So this thing's kind of alive, but not really. I'm not sure what's upsetting it. I can. Okay, we've got a. Okay, it did not. Interesting, it's not detecting that. It is not detecting that USB stick. And it just. Wow, you are jacked up. Something's wrong with you. Hey Bunty, I'm very glad it's helped you fixed. How many is that now? You probably should, probably about the second or the third, you should very well and truly have paid off the cost of it. Hey there, Rob. Oh, what are we missing here? Oh, I've got an Apple logo. Okay, so it's just very slow, whatever it is. So it is going to be interesting to see when it boots, whether it reports that it's got a very high temperature or it thinks it's got a high temperature on something, or whether it's something else. Now fortunately, being a 3437, I can actually run the MRI boot on it, and the MRI boot, this thing, will give me a bit of an idea of what might be wrong. You've probably repaired 50 Macs now, so you're down to maybe $3 of FlexBoard view cost per Mac. That's pretty bloody good. I'm very glad to hear that. Maybe I should do that. Make it so that you pay $3 per repair perpetually. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong business person coming out. It could be just simply because it hasn't got a battery. It's not. Usually that doesn't affect these ones quite so much. Right. Oof. It does have slightly loose hinges. Now the trick, Bunty, for you is to get other people to buy it for me. But of course, if you do that, that means then you may be activating competition for your sales, which is not a good idea, as I've found out. Yeah, I've had people who come up to me and they're all really friendly and they just sort of like pretend they're just doing it as a hobby, or they're not going to get addicted or something. Then next thing you know, you got this full-blown lunatic in Canberra stealing all of my business and harassing old ladies. Well, according to the temperatures here, everything seems chipper, and the fan is not running crazy. I mean, I know it's a low-spec board. It's only a 1.3 gigahertz, but it shouldn't be that slow on the start. Death by $5 subscription, yeah. See, the problem with me when it comes to selling my software is that I, as a technician or as a buyer of software, I hate the concept of a subscription. I like to have software. If I buy it, I'm allowed to use it perpetually. I can see the advantages of a subscription for some things, for the fact that, you know, you can keep up to date or whatever. But for other things, it's like, you know, there's gonna it's gonna plateau very quickly as to the features you're going to add, and you're going to get to the point where you actually start adding crap features simply because you can't think of anything else to add and you want people to keep subscribing. So, but from a business perspective, I'm not doing myself any favors. Okay, so we're going to try boot into the MRI. And I've got to try and remember to wake up early tomorrow so that I can take my car down to the garage so that they can tell me that they can't fix it for less than $1,500. The car runs and everything, but I don't trust it on the highway anymore. Wow, this, like I said, it just shouldn't take this long to boot. Okay, there's our MRI. You know what, I'm actually going to put the battery in. For these machines, yes, it's a little bit risky, but you can put the battery in even when it's running. Now, the main risk comes from the fact that when you're trying to screw it in, you could drop the screwdriver or drop the screw or something like that and cause it to go flashbang. Okay, MRI. Hey, B-Blood. It's a Ford, yes. A Ford Falcon BA, 4 litre, inline 6. It's a solid motor. I mean, these things can last easily 500,000 miles for the people who don't understand kilometers. It's a very understressed motor. It just plods along, even with me stomping on the throttle all the time. It just feels slow. Fix or repair daily. Ugh, that's not correct. A true car person would know that actually stands for first on the rubbish dump. Funny enough, one of my more popular videos is the one where I stick the screwdriver into the center console to stop the gear selector, or not the gear selector, but the automatic mode selector from popping out. Okay, so we've got something going on here. I've forgotten what that icon is. It's not very common for me to boot with the MRI anymore. Okay, camera's jacked? That's unfortunate. Okay, solid state's jacked. Bricks jacked. What? MagSafe adapter detected. MagSafe adapter 2 required. This is very weird. Okay, what's going on here? We got a... Oh yeah, it's just... would not be flipping... kind of curious how it tests the SD. I think maybe it just sees if it can see the controller and that's about it. Oh well, look, yeah, MagSafe's come back now. Okay, and the camera, that is actually a potential problem. I'm fairly sure I plugged that in, didn't I? Let's try boot again. Oh, so this is definitely not behaving like a normal 3437. It is taking far too long. And it is not doing the normal 3437 behavior of spin stop, spin stop. At least not normally. Okay, that one actually came up quick. It looks like Drachev got caught out there. I should see what year this one's produced in. Maybe this is like very first edition 2013 or something. Come on now, let's get on with it. Honestly, like I said, I've got so many of these particular sort of boards that in some ways it might be more to my advantage to give this person a 1.6 8 gig board or something like that. A 3437, but you know, it's still an upmarket version. The downside is that then I have to migrate their serial number and everything that to the new board, and then the serial number will no longer match the spec, and can be a problem. Shouldn't be, but you know, for some, it'll be just my luck that, you know, I think I've done them a favor, and then you find out that because the hardware spec doesn't match what the serial number says it should be, there'll be drama. But this is really frickin' slow. There could be something on the logic board that's inhibiting some sort of communication signals, causing them to retry a lot. Bunty, I just use the, what is it, the TL866 CS or something like that. Yeah, I just use that pretty generic one. And then if you do get one of those, it's also important that you grab from, what do you call it? From Harold from CMI Zapper, you grab one of the adapter boards that he makes. They're a very nice adapter board. And they let you also program and read the ROMs for the USB-C drives, chips, not these. So it's a very nice adapter board. It's got all the different possible chips sort of footprints there that you want, and yeah, it's just one of these mini pro programmers. TL866 CS. The only thing is these do not natively provide a 1.8 volt option, but honestly I've very rarely ever encountered the need for it, and if you do, you can just get one of these adapters that let you transition down to 1.8. Do you have a link for the adapter board? Let's see, not off the top of my head, but maybe someone who can chat can get it for me. At least I'm pretty sure Harold's selling them by now. Wow, this is stupidly slow. Come on. It's frustrating because, like I said, nothing really comes up the MRI, so maybe I'm going to have to try the ASD. Flippin' heck. I haven't used ASD in probably 9 months now. I won't even remember which one's which. Let's see, ASD. Yeah. No, I can't remember which ASD. I've got ASD 130 through to 147, and this will probably be whatever's after that. What's bothering me here is that it's unpredictable. Sometimes it starts quick, sometimes it doesn't. What's my current rate? And we don't appear to be charging by the looks of it. Alright, that battery may actually be a culprit. So I'm just gonna choke it to death. Okay. Just gonna take this battery out and try a different one, because sometimes if the battery is misbehaving, it will interfere with the SMC lines. And yes, the ISL could be a possible culprit. I want to try the battery first. It's certainly the easier option. Alright, Mr. Daniels. Where did you put the batteries? Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. One of these might go. Could be a sensor issue. Yeah, mind you, when I got it booted up before and I was looking at the temperature sensors and things like that, nothing was showing up as problematic. But that's not to say that the current sensor or something like that isn't complaining. Did I say hello to you, Urilla? If I didn't, I apologise. Hello. Well, at least we're getting a charge on this one. But again, we have this oddly long boot process. Similar issue last week. I did with another machine though. I don't think it was, not sure if it was a 1466. Anyway, we'll see how this one goes. Like I said, you can tell, we're up to 3 amps, so we know this one's definitely charging, which means the ISL at least is functional, and the SMC must be functional on that side as well. That's another name for a Macbook battery, apple juice. Hey, nice to have some wholesome comedy like that. Okay, B-Blood, take care. Jesus, it's almost midnight. It's taken too long already. To be honest, I'm not surprised that the battery would be cactus at this point. I mean, given that it's a 3437, it's probably never been replaced. So that means it's going to be 9 years old. And since these are not perfectly managed batteries, 9 years is a moderate lifespan for them. The fan's kicking up hard. Come on. What is going on here? The way it's tapering off like that, it's just weird. I mean, yeah, I would start considering it being a what do you say, a firmware issue, an EFI firm BIOS issue. The way it's sitting there, and is it the fan that's spinning faster or my power supply? I think it might be my power supply making all the noise. Oh, I've got bugs crawling in here now, so I just need to shut this window. Right. Yes, I did see you say that, Alexi. The problem you see I have here is that I didn't have any, based on the damage on the board, there wasn't any compelling reason for me to start to suspect that yet. I mean, when you see corrosion around the clock chip, you sort of think, well, that's going to be a primary issue here, so fix that up, test it, see how it maybe come up. I like to think that, I like to sort of see if there is a reason for something to have failed. Because I'd say 90% of the time where I just blindly chase things, it's a dead end. What's bothering me here is the fact that it did actually boot fairly quickly, relatively speaking, for that first one. But that might have been because I did the PRAM reset. Yeah. I just would like to know why the BIOS would be affected in this scenario. I'm not asking the audience, I'm more saying I've asked myself that. But yeah, it's certainly behaving in that way. Where you sort of get this reasonably quick start and then you get these teeny tiny incremental gains. It is next to clock, I do agree, yeah. Hmm. Just, yeah, ah, hate having to do this. You watch, I'm going to do this, and it'll turn out that it makes no difference. But yeah, that's just taking way too long. Pain in the ass. Alright, 34, 37, we need to steal someone else's. Oh great, of all the boards I pull out that has a BIOS chip, it's a 165, and I can't use those because the chip is physically very different. Oh, lo and behold, it's another 165 with a BIOS on it, and 34, 37 doesn't. Is this some sort of running joke with me at the moment? Ah, here we go. But you've got corrosion all over you near the BIOS, so you're no good either. Ah, the universe is having a joke with me tonight. Not the 165. Yeah. 34, 37. Have you got your BIOS attached? You do. Okay. Alright. So yeah, this one's actually looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this one, flash it. We're not going to use the other one. Let's see. Yeah, it's interesting. I have a person who's just messaged me and said, I want an activation key for Flex Board View now. I want it fast. It's like, yeah, let's see. Now, what I do in these scenarios, I'm making the assumption that they're actually... here we go, this is going to be fun. What's happening is they're probably thinking it's free. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Hi there, full stop. When you purchase Flex Board View, it should give you the activation key within about 2 minutes via email, full stop. Alright, now we're going to see what the response is like. Because it is surprising how many people go to the Flex Board View website. They download the Flex Board View because it's, you need a key to activate it. And they're like, what? What do you mean I gotta buy it? And it's like, yeah, it's commercial. If you don't want to buy it, go get Open Board View. How can I pay? So people don't even go to the website. Really? Okay. The purchase link is on the front page of the Flex Board View site. Just click on the purchase link up the top and it will let you pay using PayPal. Creature, not too many spelling errors, but yeah, I do get them. I've noticed that. If I got to articulate my voice a fair bit in order to be able to get it to not produce too many errors. Fortunately, it has learned over the many months and years the various words that I do use. But yeah, text-to-speech is very handy. as is voice control when you're driving in the car. I don't know why, but for some reason with the iPhone, I can't get Siri to integrate with Facebook properly. Like if I say to Siri, I gotta be careful, my phone could respond to it. But anyway, if I say, hey Jennifer, send a message to such and such on Facebook, it just says I can't do that for you, and I'm like, why not? Because that would be extremely helpful while I'm in the car. Because the only other alternative I have in order to maintain a strictly hands-free situation is to enable voice navigation. But voice navigation is colossally painful to use with things like Facebook Messenger. That's right, the dumb res. Sorry, Dave. I cannot allow that. I will admit the one thing that bothers me when a possible sale comes through with that sort of pretext is that I almost, well, I shouldn't say always, but very frequently of all the PayPal disputes that I get, it is typically off the back of something like that. And the problem is that the people are so eager to get their hands on what they think they're getting that they don't bother to read what they're actually getting. And then I get this PayPal dispute come through and it's always product not as described, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, you know. And then I've got to go through and every single frickin' time go through about a 28-day process of demonstrating that, god damn it, the BIOS chip flew off. Demonstrating that no, it is actually as provided. It's very well indicated on the website that various things are what they are, blah blah blah. And then of course the person who's buying it, they get upset with me, and yeah, because they've got this disparity between what they thought they were going to get versus what they did get, which is basically a copy of the flex board view but with no schematics and board views or anything like that. So it's frustrating because, you know, I don't want to scam people, but at the same time I feel like if you get through and you answer all the questions that are needed in order to be able to purchase flex board view, because you've got to answer 2 questions and you have to acknowledge that you have read everything, you know, prove that you read the page. And if you get through all that blindly and you still pay and you still don't know what you're buying, then I'm sorry, I'm going to take that money from you, because it's actually a service to humanity. Because I know that I am going to spend at least 2 hours dealing with the crap of, oh, it's not what I thought I was going to buy. And it's like, I can't stop you. I can't stop you from buying this software. I have done everything reasonable and beyond to inhibit people from buying the software. And if they still get through it, then you really don't deserve that money. I'm sorry. That money is better in my pocket. Agreed, Rob Brown. They do. They really do. Like I said, and I feel bad for them for the fact that they feel like they have been cheated. But at the same time, there's only so much you can do to stop people from doing dumb things, and after that, then it's a tax. Let's see. terminal. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see, semantics. Time is money, exactly, yeah, because it easily takes me 2 hours overall to deal with getting that money or confirming. Anyway, it's just going to get my blood pressure up again. What am I doing here? I need BIOSes. Let's see, 3437. Where's my clean one? No, you're not clean. Where the hell are my clean BIOSes? Wow. Okay. Wait, am I already mounting that? Aha. Oh, yeah, okay. There we go. That's the one I was after. Okay, I know now why I didn't have the clean BIOS here. It's because I have changed the machine since the last time I did a 3437, so my drives are different. Alrighty. So, and this is 1521. Okay, G-Hex 1521. Alrighty. And now I've got to get their serial number. Doink. I need my glasses. Okay. So 2. What? F5V8. Ah, shite. I didn't see where the F5V8. Was that where I was meant to put that? I'm pretty sure that was. Crappity crap. No, I'm gonna have to do this again because I don't save. I forgot what I was looking at. No. Okay. Cancel. Okay, I was in the right place. Damn it. Oh well, doesn't matter. What the frickety cap locks, you moron? Not tab. To L2L 7A F5A8. Okay. Right, so now that that's done, oh geez, do I even have the UEFI? Please tell me I still have the UEFI. I do, thank God. Okay. Wait, what? What? Oh dear god, I've actually forgotten how to do this. Okay, MV RAM, yep, that's where I should be. FSys, yeah. There it is. Okay, that's the code I need. Where are you? There. So we want 8584. Am I typing that? No, yep, 8584. AVC. And that's what we want. We want valid, so that's good. Now we can actually burn that image. Which now I've got to remember how to do again. I've forgotten everything. Oh, this is so sad. History. Mini Pro. No, my history is missing. God, crap, damn it. Alright. I rely on my history to be my memory. And because I changed machine, I have to remember everything myself now. Okay. What chip have I got here? Front source, it was scripted before, but like I said, I've changed my machine and I didn't bring it across. Let's see, what is this? MX 25 640, 25L 640. Okay, cool. That's P, that's what I wanted. Because once I've done this once, then it'll be set again. MX 25L 640. Shit, which one was it? Six easy, too easy. Six E at WSonate. Right, 1.5. Finally. It takes too long. I'll tell you, Alexi, if this is not the BIOS that's causing the problem, I am going to say that it's not the BIOS and I'm going to blame you. Enjoy the walk. Sorry about having to go to the vet though, creature. Crusty stuff on his fur. It might be mites. Oh, crikey. Well, as long as it's mites and not something like mange or whatever it is. Can't imagine your dog would have mange though. No love, no. I'm not a loving person. I'm a loving person to a very select group of things. One wife and fur kids. YouTube's trying to tell me it would be a good time to insert adverts right now. Well, I say no. I can't stand bloody in-stream, mid-stream adverts. It's so frustrating. A lot of deer around there. Okay. Do you get ticks off those deers? Yes, you can get faster programmers than this, but I actually ordered one and then AliExpress or whatever, they refunded my money and they said, no, we don't want to send it to you. And it's like, well, fine. Be like that. Because, yeah, this, the CS version, the TL866CS, it's a very slow version. It works, but it's slow. Unfortunately, as you can tell by the fact that I haven't had to do a BIOS flashing since the time I upgraded this machine. So, it's just the value isn't there for me to buy another one anymore. And the only reason why it seems excruciating at the moment is because of the fact that you're waiting. Whereas if under normal circumstances I would just simply let this go and walk off somewhere for a bit, go do something else. Flashcat is what I use as a programmer. Couldn't be done with your programmer. What are you talking about, Sky Bliss? It is very slow, yeah. I concur. Still searching for a programmer that'd be open hardware. Wasn't there the was it CH341 or something like that? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, an open hardware version of this would be nice. Show ultrasonic cleaning videos. It is very slow though for what it is. I mean, that, what do you call it? One wire AVR programmer of mine would probably be faster than this. Certainly the ISP programmers are faster than this. Alright, we are programmed and done. Marvelous. Steve, if it was daylight, I might actually consider that. The only thing I'm going to catch out there, of course, is spiders at the moment. Nice, big, juicy spiders, and they're very strong webs. Alright. Just going to take the logic board out of the... Oh man, damn it. I screwed the battery in, of course. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do about this situation, given the fact that the customer is probably not really going to be in a situation where they want to cough up another, let's say $100 for the battery. I mean, the battery doesn't quite cost me that much, but then you throw in things like postage, and then all of a sudden it is $100. I mean, the fitting time is not really relevant on this particular machine. You watch it. This is probably going to just be a dodgy resistor somewhere. Yeah, any programmer that I get has to work with Linux. I actually don't know how people do servicing work on things like Windows. I mean, obviously it's doable, but I just feel so constrained. I guess you just sort of get used to whatever it is that you're using. You know, a tool's a tool. It has its pros and its cons. I've always simply felt more comfortable with Linux when it comes to the integration of electronics and computing. I think one of the big insults that I encounter when it comes to hardware and Linux compatibility and things like that is when you have a piece of equipment that uses Linux, but they don't support Linux for that device. And it's like, wow, you know, I don't know, it just feels intrinsically wrong that you have this piece of equipment that's using Linux in its core, but they will not write any sort of support for Linux for it. Okay, that's not quite sat down properly. What happened there, what happens with these is that center pad, as soon as it touches down, it sort of freezes the solder for a little bit. And you've got to just keep applying a bit more heat until it melts up again and then floats back to center. Now, Prater, there probably is that on this, but I haven't. There's a GUI for it, I'm sure. Also,